Yeah, hey everyone, Matt Hartman, customer engineer here again. And today, what I'll be talking about is how to use generative AI, so specifically Gemini, to help with your day-to-day processing and your software development lifecycle of your application integration building. So with that application integration, like I mentioned before, does have Gemini embedded capabilities that'll learn not only from the tons and tons of data we currently have, but also given your enterprise context, so your data, to be able to do things such as build processes, iterate on processes, i.e. enhance them, write JavaScript for you, generate technical documentation, and anything and everything in between, again, across that entire software development lifecycle process. So here we are in my application integration blade. As you can see here, I'm going to start using Gemini to build my integration. So to that point, like we mentioned before, as you can see here, we do have sample prompt templates available to be able to help you out to be able to create some sort of skeleton. With that as well, you can enter whatever you want in freeform, so anything specific to a user story and anything and everything in between. So for my prompt, I'm going to use two of the largest used connectors within application integration, so Salesforce and BigQuery. It's also something along the lines of when a new Salesforce opportunity is created, check if the amount is greater than $10,000. So in this case, if yes, send me an approval request. So if yes, send an approval request to Heart. So my email. I also still want to send the data to my BigQuery table. So my BigQuery opportunities table. So as you can see here, natural language processing. So basically I have my source, I have my target, I have some sort of validation associated with that. And I will start generating a process. So Gemini behind the scenes is going to learn not only based on our processing capabilities, but it's going to create multiple skeletons for you to be able to provide feedback on. So Salesforce opportunity, as you can see here, created a connector, an extraction, validation, and sending to my target. So what you'll see as well is the enterprise context retrieval. So Salesforce opportunity demo, so I'll call it BQ demo, confirm. And what you'll see now is it's creating the process for me. So it's creating the connectors, given my enterprise context. Any sort of data mapping is applicable, so we'll showcase Gemini in a second with that. So what we'll see, once this is complete, it takes about a minute or so, is it created an entire process for me. So it created all of the connector input and output variables that we've typically seen as best practices. With that as well, as I can see, I have my Salesforce CDC, but one of the coolest things associated with that is the fact that if I have a connector and a best practice that I've typically had across my enterprise, it's going to use and prefer that connector. So obviously pre-created here, and it's going to give me other options if for whatever reason I want to iterate on this through connector tests. So I can provide some sort of prompt if I wanted to, or I can pick another connector that is pre-created for me. And again, to that point, it's going to use that and recreate it behind the scenes. So pretty powerful functionality from that perspective. So let's say I want to enhance this process. We can also now go through branch conditions and create an added branch with Gemini. So if I want to, again, say, send me an email once approved. Create that. What you'll see is it'll actually now modify the process for me behind the scenes as well. So you can rate the suggestion and do anything and everything in between. So, okay, based on the approval, send me the email. Again, just iterating on that subsequent process. Another powerful capability that I'd like to highlight here as well is that it can actually write JavaScript for you. So again, dealing with input variables, output variables, so it understands not only JavaScript best practices, but JavaScript and application integration best practices. So what I'm getting at with that is input variable, output variable assignment, and anything and everything in between. So with that, let's say I want something along the lines of read in the incoming Salesforce document and look within the JSON for a string called, so for this use case, again, this is a skeleton, so within it, it's called Let's call it opportunity amount. Extract that value, convert it to an integer, and assign it to the amount variable, because again, that's where my local variable is stored for the amount based on approval. Cool, so I'm going to generate it, and as you can see, it'll write the underlying code for me. So again, depending on your use case, your data entries, and kind of your custom key value pairs, it'll learn based on that. So what you'll see in a second is it does basically everything we talked about. So grab the data from the opportunity, perform some sort of validation with it. It has comments, so it parses the value, and then it sets it to the amount. So everything I asked for, again, you can kind of test it and iterate based on the feedback and the prompt. But great skeleton process to be able to help me with kind of this code assist framework. From there, should I want to publish this underlying integration, I can also use auto-generate capabilities to be able to create a description for me. So again, this is a pretty skeleton process. You can recreate it, but depending on how you continue to enhance this process, it's going to learn more and more. And with that, you can generate documentation. So again, a lot of powerful functionality available out of the box to help basically across the entire software development lifecycle process. So thank you, everyone, and have a nice day.